Hey guys, welcome back to Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. This is Al Shalat, and continuing my video series on character roles tonight. Earlier this week I released a video on the support role, like, Lucia, Kate Sith, and Sid. Tonight is going to be tanks. So Barret, Angeal, and the water boy, Glenn. First off, just some updates and stuff. Guild Battle 19 was delayed. They haven't announced yet when it's going to be back on, but we're assuming probably next weekend. It's probably going to be delayed a week. Then next Wednesday, Dirge of Cerberus is coming. Got a countdown for that now, which is pretty cool. The login bonuses right now are pretty generous. They got ingots and refined mithril in there. I always like to see that when they're trying to upgrade our weapons, Yeah, the Dirge of Cerberus event, it's gonna be a monthly event, just like Advent Children was for the 2-year anniversary. So this means I'm anticipating limit break banners, based on the number of characters on the Fortune Teller's list for February. I'm expecting to get 2 double limit break banners for Dirge of Cerberus. I'm expecting the characters to be Vincent, Sid, Yuffie, and Red 13, I think, are the most likely from what we expect in February. Since those are like the OG characters and Dirge is based on the OG characters, even though Red isn't really in Dirge that much, I think he has like a non-speaking like cameo at the end. Glenn, Lucia, and OG Sephiroth are also on the list for February. I think those are less likely to be limit break banners in the Dirge event. But maybe if they give them like a Weiss or a Nero costume, then maybe. And then Tifa was listed for March, but said maybe February. So maybe, who knows? But Vince's second banner ult will be coming on Wednesday too. So Dirge event for him. He's probably going to get a new limit break weapon and his second banner ult. So we're looking forward to that. I know it's a lot of limit break and crossovers lately. And then in March, we have the 2.5-year anniversary. So we're going to have even more. So the best thing to hope for is these 2 limit break banners for Dirge, and then the last 3 weeks of February, since the February content schedule actually is still in January. It starts on the 28th, so we'll have 5 Wednesdays for banners in February's content cycle. So the best to hope for is 2 double limit break banners and then 3 featured weapons for the rest of the month. Keep your fingers crossed. And then we'll see a couple more limit breaks in March for the 2.5-year anniversary. Then we don't know. We haven't seen a roadmap. They should probably be doing a live stream at the end of February going into the 2.5-year anniversary. And hopefully we'll see what's coming down the road for spring after that. But we're flying kind of blind right now as to what's coming up for the game. One other announcement before I get started with the tank video. YouTube's going good. We hit 500 subscribers a couple of weeks ago. I just got applied and accepted for YouTube partner. So have memberships and supers are active now. The memberships, there's nothing really special. I uploaded some emoji and badge logos. And there's going to be there'd be like early access to videos, like as soon as I publish them, and then they'd go public like later that evening or something. But that's it, and I kept the membership price low at like $2.99, I think. So that's it. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because we are pushing towards 1,000 subscribers is the next milestone where I'd be eligible for ad revenue. So that's the biggie that we're trying to get to. So please subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks. So yeah, we're continuing this YAP series of videos, talking about the current state of the game, examining character roles. We got the OS roles at the 1.5 year anniversary. And tonight we're going to talk about tanks. The first tank in the game was before these overspeed roles existed, and that was Angeal. They added him to the game in October 2024, right after the 1st year anniversary, when they started the First Soldier Chapter 2, or Episode 2. And he came with new game mechanics for Provoke and Veil, which is like, Veil is a shield that absorbs damage. And then, he continued to be the tank for the game until the 1.5 year anniversary. Well, a little bit before that, even February 2025, we had the Rebirth crossover where they gave Barret his first Provoke weapon, Fafnir rifle. And I think Glenn got a Blade of Ruin before the Overspeed rolls too. So we kind of knew that those were going to be the 3 tanks before Overspeed was introduced. But then Overspeed just solidified it. Their Overspeed gives them 1,500 HP, then 18 defenses, and then a 20% resistance to all elements once the skill tree's all filled up, which is a lot of damage resistance. So just off the bat, they take a whole lot of less elemental damage than the other characters. Their weapons tend to have more HP and defense R abilities on them too, so they take less damage overall. Those effects are just passive always from Overspeed. When you actually activate Overspeed in battle, you can see here it gives the regular -1 ATB cost, and then it gives them a 20% boost to defenses while Overspeed's active. So we could play with that. Usually we just use Overspeed for quick sigils, but if you know you're going to be taking a bunch of damage and need to mitigate that a little bit, you could use this as like a defensive cooldown, which I haven't done yet in the game. Haven't seen the need for it. Their own defenses and HP and Veil have done the trick. Pressing Overspeed hasn't been the difference between a tank getting killed or not. So we typically just use it to reduce the ATB cost for throwing sigils. So the tank's role overall, in RPGs, a tank is like the big strong guy leading the charge that use like taunt or provoke, as it's called in this game, to bait single target attacks. So they get the enemy to attack them instead of the other party members. So using provoke, or otherwise if we know we can bait something using high HP, low HP, whatever. Tanks have high HP and high defenses, and their role is to mitigate incoming damage to themselves and the party with attack debuffs and defense buffs. In this game, they include the Veil shield to absorb damage, They give it to themselves often and sometimes to the whole party. Tanks are not high damage output. That is quite rare. There's only a couple Arcanum costumes for damage on the tanks. And offensive buffs and debuffs, like P attack, M attack up, or P def, M def down, or elemental debuffs. Those are bonuses on tanks. They're not really part of their kit per se. They're more focused on mitigating damage by debuffing attack and buffing defense. So like the opposite of a support, where the supports want to debuff defenses and elements, and they want to buff our attack. All right, we'll get into each of the characters. Can start with Barret. Since Barret was an original member or original character in the game, although he didn't start as a tank. Actually, his first role in the game was as a healer for like the first year or so. Healer and like debuffer, but not really a tank. Because Micro Laser here had a heal R ability and it had a cure all on it. Then it also raised M attack and gave regen to a single target. So his first role as a healer, which is kind of bizarre. I remember using him as a healer. And his other kind of niche gimmick is, if you have his rebirth costume, is that he has super big elemental resistances. He has the 20% just from the tank overspeed roll, then an extra 20% from the Dragon King costume. And then his other primary costume, Electro Armor, has giant defenses, 20% defenses, and 15 points for HP. So he's big HP, big defenses, big elemental resist. So he doesn't take a whole lot of damage. Or the enemy has to be very strong to do good damage to him. Even before the tank roll, we did use his like high HP or low HP to bait single target attacks, like in the Ramuh fight. He is a Circle Sigil character. He does have access to Diamond Sigil with Shark Slayer. Is a 3 ATB Diamond Break. And it has his fire and water down. Has the circle on it. Less commonly used, Gatling gun has an X on it, but is otherwise pretty useless. Don't think I've ever used that one. Then Max Ray, similarly, is kind of useless. But it has a diamond on it, and why would you use this one? Shark is 3 ATB and has good R abilities. Okay, take a look at his ults. The free one gives HP and P def R abilities, and it's a one charge, just like all the other free ones. P def up high. Missing score is his banner ult. He was the first tank to get an ult. This was before the tank rolls, but you could kind of tell that's where they were going for him. Where he has Veil on interrupt. So this is after Angeal's tank stuff was in the game, but before the tank overspeed. So we had Veil, we had Provoke. So he gives himself Veil on the interrupts. Then 2 charges of 50% damage resistance which was huge for a few fights in the early parts of year 2 of the game. Like Brutal 35 against Shiva and Ramu. This was like borderline required for that, because they did a whole bunch of buttload of damage to us. I think it would be kind of funny to see how that Brutal 35 would stack up to us nowadays with Memoria and Overspeed and everything. I think during one of the live streams they said like less than 1% of the players cleared that fight. Otherwise, it has MDef, our ability, and he had just 50% less damage for 15 seconds. It's also useful when they came out with Bahamut EX3. It's the other time I remember using this. Then for the rerun of Blitzrad 2. Alright, next we'll look at his limit breaks. Start with the short charge, which is usually the most useful one with the most utility, since they just added more utility to these LB3s after the 2-year. So this is a short charge 900, has Provoke on it. So if you don't have a Provoke weapon for him or can't slot it in, you can Provoke from his limit break, although you have to charge the limit break first, which is kind of not so great, since you usually want to Provoke at the beginning of a fight. Also gives P-Def up, M-Def up, mid to high, all allies. So he could raise everybody's defenses to high after 2 short charge limit breaks, even without weapons. Mind Blow is his LB2, which gives P-Def, M-Def down, mid to high. This is a longer charge than the first one. Grenade Bomb is just 3k damage like usual. Not really useful. Next, we'll take a look at the costumes. We already looked at these a little bit. Electro Armor's his go-to. A lot of people pick this up for him with their anniversary vouchers just because it's so useful. Gives him very high HP and defenses. 10% attack doesn't really do much, but... And they did just add a C ability to this one. 700% magic lightning damage. This gives P-Def up high, a single cast. Which Barret gives P-Def up high, or P-Def up mid to high to the whole party in a lot of his weapons. He's like a pretty solid physical tank. He does also have M-Def up high too, but we'll get to that in a minute. Then his Dragon King has his Reprieve and the elemental damage. We already looked at this for a sec. His newest costume for New Year's, P-Def up all allies, and then P-Def up tier up, so extra high P-Def up, 20% defenses. Then you got Provoke on the costume C ability for 3 charges. So if you don't have one of his Provoke weapons, I think Fafnir has it, and is the only one, then you can use this instead of his limit break now. Otherwise, during the anime event, they gave him a Wind Arcanum for some reason. It's a new Arcanum, 30-20 command stance bonus with HP. And physical and magical defenses. I'm missing his Heavy Hauser costume, which is kind of trash anyways. I think it has like boost attack and HP on it. I'll give a honorable mention to his voucher costume. HP and P-Def ain't that bad for a freebie. let's look at all the weapons, different buffs, debuffs that he brings to the table. And we'll start with elemental debuffs, which isn't really a tank role, but he does bring 3 out of 6 elemental debuffs. 2 of those are on Shark Slayer, Fire Down and Water Down. Then his anime weapon has Wind Down AoE, which was used for 1 dungeon ranking, then never again, along with that wind costume. That always makes me laugh when we think about how everybody said those anime event banners with a weapon on every other stamp were so great, but it's like they knew they were giving us those weapons and then they were never going to be used again after the event that month. So it's kind of ironic, at least to me. So if we ever see something like that again, we can expect similar probably. All right, that's it for his elemental debuffs. He doesn't have any element buffs like giving an elemental offensive buff to the party yourself. He doesn't have any of those. For elemental damage, he does have that Wind Arcanum, and it is like a small potency 500 AoE. And then Electro Cannon does have magic lightning damage on it, but we're not really using this for the damage. We're using it for the debuffs on it. So he's not really gonna crank out any huge damage numbers, and that's okay because he's a tank. That's not his job. When it comes to defense and attack debuffs, Electro Cannon does take care of P attack and M attack down. The M attack down only goes to mid, but that's usually okay. If you do need an M attack down high, Solid Bazooka brings it. W Machine Gun has his P-Def down on it. And then his only source of M-Def down is on his Mind Blow Limit Break. Actually has both defenses down. For buffs, he has a lot of sources of P-Def up on his crossover Rebirth. P-Def up mid to high while doing Provoke and Veil. Then on his New Year's costume, P-Def up mid to high with the Fire and Lightning resists. His first P-Def up weapon was Assault Gun, P-Def up high in the single cast, with a very short duration even at OB10. Some kind of shit R abilities. I guess if you paired this with Micro Laser using him as a healer, you'd have a kind of high heal stat, so that's alright. Ice Resist. Not that good. Since P-Def up is not useful against Shiva, she does magic damage, so. Then we got his magic buffs. We have Asuchion Cannon. And this is what I call the magic Kimura. So Kimura does P attack up, M def up. This does M attack up, M def up. So still M def up for defenses, but is raising the party's M attack instead of P attack. So it's a Kimura for a magic team. Pretty nice weapon. And then, of course, Micro Laser is a single target one, but where'd that bad boy go? But it gives M attack up, regen, And it has that all cure slot. This was what we used a lot for him as a healer back in the day. Yeah, he has access to just about everything except for P attack up when it comes to buffs. He has a whole bunch of P def up. He has an M def up, an M attack up in one, but no P attack up. When it comes to elemental resistances, the New Year's has fire and lightning resist, mid to high. Now to the tank specific stuff. Provoke. Fafnir rifle has it. That's where you get it from a weapon. Otherwise, you're just going to get it from his third LB or his New Year's costume. When it comes to Veil, Fafnir rifle gives Veil. Missing score, the ultimate has Veil on interrupt. And his anime weapon has Veil on it. He has access to Reprieve from the Dragon King costume. He doesn't have access to Enfeeble. And then some weird things that he has that others don't is that he can fulfill the role of a healer with Micro Laser. Common sub-weapons that he has is Electro Cannon is a great magic sub. 4656 magic. Then for physical builds, Enemy Launcher, 3156. Boost attack, physical ability, potency. Otherwise, Fafnir rifle, his HP and PDEF, and his New Year's has HP and PDEF, which could be used for supports or tanks if needed. That rounds out Barret. Pretty solid tank, but he doesn't have a whole lot of tools. And a lot of them are worked into his costume. So if you missed out on the Rebirth costume, or if you don't get his New Year's costume, then, and also don't have his Rebirth weapon, then you will have to resort to his Limit Break for Provoke, which kind of sucks. So he still has some room to grow for being a tank. And he's only really had the anime weapon and the New Year's weapon since the overspeed rolls were introduced. Fafnir was before, Asuchion was before, Electro Cannon was before. Those were his, like, Shark was before. He doesn't really get a lot of banners, and not all his banners have costumes. Shark didn't come with a costume. Asuchion didn't come with a costume. That's why a lot of people rock the voucher costume if they don't have anything else for him in it. It does okay. Now let's move on to Angeal. I think I got a slot open for him. Angeal was added to the game in October 2024, right after the first year anniversary, and he was officially the first character meant to be a tank in the game. He launched with a physical water limit break weapon that had Provoke and Veil on it. So this was when Provoke and Veil were both introduced to the game, was with Angeal. The only character that could do either for quite a while. He belongs to Triangle Sigil School. He does have access to a Diamond Sigil. Where's it at? With 91 two-hander, 3 ATV Diamond, and it gives P attack down, M attack down. M attack's only to mid, though. It's like Electro Cannon, but better, in my opinion, somehow. Because it's only 3 ATB, and it has a Diamond Sigil on it. HPR ability with ability potency, not bad. Take a look at his ults. Free one first. He was one of the last characters to get an ult. Or at least in the later half. So we were using this free ult for a long time on him. Which just gives P-Def, M-Def up mid. Mid to high. So if you already have a mid on, it'll bring it to high. P-Def, M-Def are abilities. That's great. Then we got Balmung. I love the weapon name, Balmung. That's the name of a server in Final Fantasy XIV where they do all the ERP. If you know, you know. Erotic roleplay. Hanging out in Limsa. Yep, this has 3 charges. Does damage. Not really a big deal. And he does damage resistance only for himself. For everybody. Yes, for everybody. All allies. But only 25% instead of 50% from Barret. But we get to use it 3 times instead of 2. And then only for himself is a 50% veil, which is a ton. That's a big ass shield. So if your tanks nowadays probably have around at least 25,000 HP, usually 35,000 HP. So that's like a 12 to 17,000 HP shield. That's huge. Our abilities give HP gain for 60 seconds on the start of the battle. That's awesome. And P-Def. So that ult is also, it's kind of a mix. It's kind of selfish with the Veil, but also gives the physical resistance 25 to the whole party. Whereas Barret's is 50% for the full party, so that's a party-wide mint tool. So is this one, but with an extra thing for himself. Then we'll see Glenn's banner ult is like fully selfish, where he's like the selfish tank. Next we can look at limit breaks. LB3 is a long charge. 25% veil to everybody. That's huge for a party-wide veil. Very useful. But you have to give it the time to charge and use it at the right time. His LB2 is his quick charge. And this is a P attack, M attack down. Max mid. And then his first one is just damage, 2100 base, up to ×3 with low HP. Which we don't really use that one. When it comes to costumes, he launched with the Water Arcanum. Then defense all allies. 5 points only, 5% for both defense types. Then he had a couple honorable mentions are his voucher costume is HP MDef. And then soon after he launched, we had the Final Fantasy VI event where he had a free costume, which is HP PDef. So 2 free costumes, HP MDef, HP PDef. Then we got him at the 1.5 anniversary, gave him his reprieve, and then PDef up tier +1, which is the only other effect on it. Kind of a lame costume in today's standards, but this was the first time we saw a tier up. So that was the first introduction of that with this Limit Break costume. And as we know, they introduced new game mechanics in Limit Breaks, weapons or costumes, and then we'll see it on normal costumes later, and it didn't take long for these to get added to normal costumes. Then last summer we got the beach costume, PDef up all, HP and magic defense. This is the one they added a C ability to, which is don't worry about the damage because it's not really going to do anything, but 10% veil for everybody. Then Halloween this year, you got Earth up all allies, which is great. Some extra utility for elemental teams. Then 20% defenses, 20% magic command stance bonus. Now let's look at his weapons. Can start with elemental debuffs, and he has a few. He has the, is it the most? Well, I guess it's still 3. It's 3 out of 6, so about the same as Barret. Covers 2 of the same one as Barret too, water and fire. So Shark does water and fire for Barret, and the anime one does wind, where volcanic heat for Angeal does a fire debuff. Mithril Slasher does a water debuff, AoE mid to high. Then he has 2 earth debuff weapons. This was in his original kit, Greatsword Model 1. Earth down high. Then he got his Halloween one this year, which is AoE with some 780 earth damage, not bad. With earth down, earth up, which is quite a bit more utility. So earth down, earth up, mid to high, not bad. AoE with some great R abilities and attack earth. Then the next thing we were going to touch on was Element Plus buffs, which is right here. This is his Earth Up. This is the only one he has. We're going to talk about elemental damage weapons. His Launch Tranquility was his Water LB 940 with an Arcanum. Then Mithril Slasher is Magic Water AoE 580 with a water debuff. Then back to that earth weapon is 780 AoE. Doesn't have an Arcanum, but his costume does have earth up all allies. Then Sekio is physical earth, 600 base, 2 times at low HP. So up to 1200. He doesn't have an Earth Arcanum. The Earth All Allies could help it a little bit, but the command stance bonus on that costume's only for magic, and this is physical. CC Alloy came with his launch kit, 900 magic lightning, but no costume. Then the volcanic physical fire one. Great R abilities on this too, 62, 42. Physical fire 620, fire down high. But no costume came with this banner either. That's 4 out of 6 elements. He gets the 5th one, ice. Better one is the Final Fantasy VI free weapon, 450. So that's a little bit lesser. And then he doesn't cover wind. So he covers 4 elements quite well. Ice, so-so, no wind. He is the tank that covers the most elemental damage types. Which kind of makes sense because he was the first tank in the game, so his kit already had Veil and Provoke worked into it. Whereas all of the banners for Glenn and Barret, since they've been designated as tanks, have them catching up to Angeal and adding their tank tools to the game. So they haven't really had a chance to get as many elemental weapons. Yeah, the physical water tranquility, that was very strong at launch, even for a tank. Otherwise, you probably won't be seeing him do a whole bunch of damage. Nowadays, this is totally outclassed by the featured weapon that Tifa has with the bikini shiny gloves, which does 1120. Also does P attack, M attack down. So it has utility lowering attack. Now let's talk about his defense and attack debuffs. At 3 ATB, Diamond is like Electro Cannon, P attack, M attack down. The free Final Fantasy 13 weapon, Lightning Sword, is P attack down mid with a P def up mid. It's a very useful free weapon. One of my favorite ones. So those are his attack debuffing weapons. Then for his defense debuffing weapons, Great Sword A debuffs P def. And he doesn't have an M def debuffing weapon. So if you're using him in a magic team, like if you're bringing the magic earth or the magic water, then somebody else is going to need to cover M def down, which is okay because he brings other things. But yeah, M def down's a blind spot for Angeal. For buffs, let's talk about defense buffs first. The big green sword is selfish, self only, M def high with a provoke on it. His LB Sword of the Worthy, I don't really like this weapon too much. It does P def, M def, everybody mid to high. Gives Veil to everybody when HP is below 70%. I more so use this as a sub weapon for our support character since it's an attack all allies with P def on it. Then the Beach Sword has P def up high, everybody. Stalwart Integrity from his launch kit is like an inverse Chimera Wand. It gives the offensive P attack up, but instead of M def up, it gives P def up. And then he doesn't have an M attack up weapon. So if you're using him on a magic team, you need somebody else to bring M def down and M attack up. Which is why he's usually used in physical teams, unless it's magic earth or magic water, but there are better magic water debuffers, so. He doesn't have any of the new elemental resistance buffs. We're looking for Provoke. His first limit break weapon, Tranquility, has it. 90 Longsword from his launch kit has Provoke with a regen. The big green sword has Provoke. The Beach Buster sword has Provoke. He also applies water weakness here, so he can create a water weakness. And his guild battle, or his guild weapon, the shovel, has Provoke. When it comes to Veil, whole bunch of sources. Ad Astra, the limit break. His banner ult gives it to himself, 50%. Huge Veil. Tranquility, 10% to self. Volcanic Heat, 10% to self. Great Sword A, 10% to self. GS Model 1, which was that first Earth debuffing weapon, 10% to self. Then his other LB, the Worthy, gives it 10% to the full party under 70% HP. He's got access to Reprieve from his 1.5 year anniversary costume. He does not have Enfeeble. Common weapons used as subs from Angeal's kit would be Great Sword of the Worthy. I use this on healers, tanks, supports for attack all allies with the P-Def. Great Sword A for physical builds has 3156. Innocent Warrior, which is his fire. Where is it at? Fire sword. Where'd it go? Great R abilities for magic fire, 3156. Which we use on OG Sephiroth for his best in slot subs. Sekio, we use this 3156 Earth for physical Earth, like with Tifa or with Cloud, near Cloud. And the green sword has HP and MDef for survivability. Very big value on MDef there. It's great. Those are the common subs. A couple of his elemental weapons have great R abilities. The fire one's 6239. Or 60, it'll be 42 if it's leveled up to 130. Similar with the water, 6242 on Mithril Slasher, and Ghost Ennis. It's the same, 6242 for Magic Earth. So that is Angeal in a nutshell. So, yeah, he's missing a few things. Missing M attack up. He's missing M def down. So, if you're using him in magic parties for water or earth, then somebody else needs to bring those. He does have access to a lot of elemental weapons. Covers 3 elemental debuffs. Has a whole bunch of sources of P-Def up and M-Def up, considering if you have his limit break weapon. A lot of provoke weapons, a lot of veil weapons. Probably the most rounded out tank that we have since he's been built as a tank since he was released. Leaves us with one guy left to cover. All right, we're back. I did a little cut there to take a break. I'm going to cover the last tank now. That is Glenn, the water boy. That's my little nickname for him, since that's all he was good for back at the beginning of the game at the 6-month anniversary. Took me so long to finish that weapon too. Like, I don't think it's been useful since I finished it. But Glenn is our third tank. His his gimmick is he is the water boy. He was like the god of physical water for the longest time, since he could give himself water up with Slay the Day with the 900 potency on Stream Slasher. It was pretty strong, especially as a limit break weapon with P attack all allies. They added the P-Def down and the Diamond Sigil and the Veil to this later on. At the 2-year anniversary, they upgraded these 6-month weapons. So that has me excited. Maybe at the 2.5-year anniversary, they'll upgrade the 1-year weapons. That'd be sweet. Yeah, this was back before they put characters into specific sigils. He had Circle back here. It was even his next banner, Slay the Day. That's when they started giving him X Sigil. That's what school he belongs to now. All his weapons since then have been X. After Slay the Day, we got Blade of Ruin was probably the next one, right? X Sigil. After Blade of Ruin. And he really hasn't had a lot. Was it Pirate? Pirate has X. Desperado has X. Wherever it is. So he's the X Sigil guy, except for his first couple weapons. His 6-month was a Circle, and Ultimatic has a... Oh, it has X Sigil on it, but it actually, the C ability does a Circle. That's strange. I never noticed that. I've never used this weapon as except for a sub weapon, you know? It's just the big pink axe for the sub weapon. To me, at least. Yeah, and he has a Diamond Sigil on the 6-month weapon. So that's something that all the tanks have, is Diamond Sigil. Whereas when it comes to our support video that I did earlier this week, found out, Kate Sith didn't have access to a Diamond Sigil yet. So all the tanks do have Diamond Sigil. It's very cool. Barret's is on Shark. Angeal's is on, what was it, two-hander, the 3 ATB diamond with that acts like a electro cannon. Then him on his 6-month anniversary. Alright. So that's sigils. We could go look at his ults now. Look at the free one first. This is M-Def up high, 1 charge. HP M-Def, our abilities. This is like the reverse of Barret's free ult. Then his banner ult, Ogre Killer. Like I was saying a bit ago, going over the other tanks' ults. Those ones for Barret and Angeal. Barret's like full party utility with 50% damage reduction. Angeal's gives 25% damage reduction, but with 3 charges, and then a big ass shield for himself. Whereas Ogre Killer here is a little bit more selfish. Gives just himself 50% magic resistance, a regen, and provoke. 3 uses. P-Def, our ability, and defense boost is P-Def, M-Def, high, just to himself at battle start. So a very selfish tank ult. So we're already seeing kind of a theme with Glenn is he's a selfish tank. Limit breaks, Hell on Wheels is his quick charge, limit break 3. 40% Veil is huge, especially for a quick charge. Removes physical attack up and magic attack up. That's not a debuff, that's just removing the buff. No matter how many tiers it has, it'll remove it. Damage doesn't really matter. His other ones are kind of shit. That's just the AoE damage. That's just single target damage. So if you're using an LB on him, it's going to be the LB3 for that 40% Veil and removing the attacks. Removing attack is similar to like Stardust Ray from Red 13 does the same thing. Costumes have the Water Boy, Water Arcanum. He has one other Arcanum. It's Ice Arcanum with HP and defense 10%. And this is one that they added a C ability to. 1,000 physical ice damage, which is kind of small compared to considering the weapon does 940, I think. Blade of Ruin. Then 30% Veil. %40 Veil on the LB, 30 on that costume. Yeah, his ult doesn't have Veil on it. So that's like the mix and matching, the trade-offs of making the tanks a little unique from each other. Otherwise, his costumes, the pirate costume is his Reprieve. 20% defense is 10% HP. Desperados is other tanking costume. P-Def up all allies. Physical attack down +1 tier. So instead of raising the defenses more like Angeal does, he raises he does more debuff tiers on the enemy to mitigate incoming damage. Then the Final Fantasy 13, this was a free costume on the panel missions. MDef up all, and this is where he has his magic attack down +1 tier. So he's lowering attack more than buffing the party. Which is a unique thing to point out about him versus the other tanks. It also has 10% all elements resistance, which is great for being free. So that's like kind of catching him up to, not quite, because Dragon King for Barret has 20%, but free costume can't beat a 10% extra resist. Otherwise, the other costumes are kind of shit. The pumpkin costume just had HP and P attack. I missed a couple other of his early costumes, I think. But these early year one costumes would just have similar just R abilities that you would see on weapons. So that's why I never picked those up. But I got all the useful ones for tanking and his arcanums. But maybe, look at this pumpkin costume, HPP attack. That might be useful for a sub costume nowadays. The extra, 7 points in HP might give him an extra tier. Although I'd probably go for all the defenses and stuff on his tanking costumes. Elemental debuffs. Getting in the buffs and debuffs. Desperado lowers Earth. That's the only one he has. Not a whole lot of elemental debuffs on Glenn. Element Plus. He only has a selfish water up with Slay the Day. When it comes to elemental damage, we have his Water Boy. 900% LB. They added all this utility here, the PDEF and the Veil to everybody on low HP and Diamond Sigil. That was all added at the 2-year. So it was just a 900 nuke with the Slay the Day offhand to buff and debuff to make it stronger. Otherwise, for elemental damage, he has Physical Ice with Blade of Ruin, 940. And this was his first provoke weapon. Also increases command gauge by 20%. It's used in a guild battle against Gigantok. And he just got a Magic Ice with Final Fantasy 13. The costume was free, but the weapon was on a banner. This is 920 Magic Ice. Has Enfeeble. He's the only tank to have Enfeeble now. M attack down, mid to high. M def up, mid to high. And if you remember, we just saw the snow costume. Gives M def up all allies, so that helps out with that weapon. And the M attack, or the magic attack down, is a +1 tier, so it'll go to extra high. So yep, the gimmick with him, except for being the water boy, is he's good at lowering the attack of enemies. And as long as they aren't immune, which could make him less effective. If a boss is immune to debuffs, then there's nothing we could do. That's why buffing is usually better. But he seems to be the debuffing tank, getting that damage mitigation through debuffing instead of buffing. He doesn't have very many buffing weapons. He just has that Final Fantasy 13 weapon. Not a whole lot of people would have pulled on this, I don't think. Where he brings MDef up mid to high. Only other one he has is Hardcore Squad. Which is kind of a shitty weapon. Heat F and MDef up, but it's max mid. Our abilities are shit. Heal and crit. Big whoop. So not many defense buffing weapons and no attack buffing weapons. He doesn't have any elemental resist buffs. He has like Barret's, that New Year's gun for Barret's, the first one for tanks. So we may see that in the future. For Provoke, his first one was Blade of Ruin, like we said. And then Pirate is his other Provoke. Or that that guy go? Pirate. For Vale, Pirate here. Or Desperado. Is Vale. Or Water Boy. Gives Vale to everybody at 70% HP or less. He could also get Reprieve from his LV3. Chunky 40%. Yeah, like I was saying, he's the only tank with Enfeeble on that Final Fantasy 13 weapon. Not a lot of people are going to have it, though. Got access to Reprieve from Pirate costume. Also has access to HP gain from the Pirate axe. HP gain for everybody, 8%. And that command stance increased 20% on Blade of Ruin. So those are like his niche weapons. Enfeeble, command stance, and HP gain are some few and far between effects on weapons. Weapons he has that are commonly used as subs on other characters for physical teams. Ultimatic, of course. 6242 boost attack physical ability potency. Awesome sub. Blade of Ruin for physical ice teams. 6242. With a pretty high, over 700 P attack stat on it. And my brand is off the chain for this one, isn't it? Fuck, that's high. It's like 118 extra. That's nice. Or more, wasn't it? 80. 118. Oh, the extra is coming because it's plus 20. Okay, gotcha. Lesser used subs, I guess, would be Slay the Days for physical water. Shockbuster used to be boost attack lightning. We don't really use it anymore. There's better choices like Witch's Broom. Yeah, that's it for Glenn. We can see that he's more of a selfish tank. Looking out for himself more with his ult. Giving himself big damage resistance on his ult and regen. Big veil for himself on his LB3. His LB3 and his ult pretty much take care of reducing damage incoming for himself single target. Otherwise, he doesn't buff a lot, but he does debuff attacks. And he has access from the costumes to 4-tier attack debuffs. So that is Glenn's deal in comparison to Angeal, who's a little bit more of a team player. Buffing the party. Then Barret also buffing the party. But they can also lower attacks too, but not to 4 tiers. Alright, that's all 3 of the tanks. It's interesting to go through all of them and see the things that they do different from each other. Like, I didn't notice that Glenn was mostly a debuffing attack tank rather than buffing the team. That is interesting to me. that's it. I won't keep you guys much longer. I'm going to go edit this, put it up. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and press that button. I'd appreciate it. Trying to get to 1,000. The next one of these roll videos will be after we see Red 13's new banner in a couple weeks. But until then, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Be safe out there. It is cold, cold, cold in the D. I hope you guys aren't having as hard a time as me with the weather. It is rough. I am done with winter. But yeah, take care. Have a good weekend, and might come up with an idea for another video over the weekend if I get bored. But if not, I'll see you guys Wednesday for sure for the launch of Dirge of Cerberus. Looking forward to it. If they do announce when Guild Battle is going to be back on, I'll make a quick announcement video too. But take care. I'll see you guys soon. Until next time. Bye.